What sort of training are you doing? Salam everyone. What's the best time to train in Ramadan? As with most things, any good coach will tell you, it depends. It depends on your individual circumstances, lifestyle and things like that. But from a purely physiological point of view, the best time to train would be after iftar. In the past, we've had a problem where the hours were so short, it wasn't possible to go to Tarawih, have your iftar, and then get enough sleep and be up for Fajr and everything else. And sleep being one of the top 3 things that's important to all of your health goals, it meant balancing between getting enough sleep and getting good training. Now that the nights are a bit longer, there is some opportunity there to train after iftar. However, if you still can't do that, then purely from a physiological point of view, the best time would be just before iftar. Now, once again, every time you train, every possible time you train will come with its pros and cons. So the time before iftar, it's when your energy is most depleted and you're most dehydrated. Once again, dehydration is probably the most important consideration that we have to take into account. So at that time, you're most likely dehydrated the most, and you're lacking in nutrients, especially glycogen. But the good thing is you can eat and drink straight after, and plus you have a longer feeding window because then you have the rest of the night to eat. You're not trying to squeeze in all these meals in a short space of time in between training and things like that. Now, there's a couple of other times that people talk about, and that is just before Fajr, which I think is a bad idea because then you're depleting your body of glycogen, and then you're trying to go the whole day fasting. You're likely to get much more hungry and be very thirsty. Then the other time people say is afternoon, afternoonish, morning. Once again, same things. Some say that they feel energized when they train in the afternoon. Now, I really don't know what sort of training them people are doing, what sort of training you're doing if you feel energized after a workout whilst fasted without water. And I think if you're training and you feel energized in a fasted state, then you're not training with any level of intensity. I think my great grandma would probably be able to train with more intensity, and that's probably why you're not seeing results. And if you're training like that outside Ramadan as well, then God help you, you're not going to get results with that level of intensity. When I'm training, even whether it's strength training, bodybuilding, I'm dripping in sweat. It's not to say that sweat equals more fat loss. That's another misunderstanding. But it does indicate a certain level of intensity. A level of intensity that's required to see some progress. So whether it's strength training, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's fat loss training where I would definitely be sweating, or even endurance where you are going to be sweating, I'm sweating, I'm out of breath, I need at least a bottle of water. If you're not getting the urge to drink when you're training, then what sort of training are you doing? Those are the pros and cons of training at different times. Pick the one that suits you and go with that. Remember though, if you are training whilst fasted, then this month your goal should not be to try and get your personal best or to smash any world records. Okay, simply maintenance. Okay, focus on, and that shouldn't be seen as something negative. Focus on corrective exercises, focus on mobility, focus on other things, aspects of your training that you've neglected. Maybe It'll help to rehab some of those nagging injuries, things like that. So change your focus. If you are training after you've eaten, then you can train with a higher level of intensity and maybe push the envelope a little bit in terms of trying to get bodybuilding will definitely work. Bodybuilding type training will definitely work. But strength training you'll struggle with. Fat loss you can do. Fat loss is totally down to calorie expenditure, and I think Ramadan is very, very conducive to fat loss. So fat loss training is fine, but instead of a super intense training while fasting, go for a brisk walk. Just make sure you're burning calories without getting too thirsty, without making yourself excessively hungry and finding it a really tough time to fast. Anyway guys, I hope that's been helpful. Please share and leave any comments down below, and I will speak to you guys soon.